I wanted to make this video so that I could tell you more about my story. So my story started out, really my fitness journey began when I decided to get clean in 2012. And I wanted to get clean because I was tired of feeling lethargic and dependent on substances, and I was using hard drugs. So I quit smoking slowly but surely and quit using drugs in that same exact period. And I started going to the gym and doing things on my own and eating clean. And when I ate clean, it was totally new to me, but I had my first after photo, and I was so proud of myself. Next, I joined Instagram. I was convinced to join Instagram and had no idea what it was really, but I did it anyway. And I started using it to track my progress and to keep myself accountable. I really didn't understand how it worked, and so I didn't even know that, what followers were. I bought P90X, and I thought she was crazy that she even thought I'd be able to do something like that, but I trusted her. I don't know why, but I did. And so I bought P90X, and I started drinking Shakeology, which I was in love with before I even tasted it, because I was a new health nut, and I knew it was all about superfoods. If you know anything about clean eating and you're a health nut, then superfoods are where it's at. The community of Beachbody completely changed my life. For the first time I don't know if anyone will ever understand this, but I needed this. Where I was at, where I had come from, I needed this as a crutch more than anything in my life. And I continued to stay sober through fitness, and I continued to drink Shakeology, and a couple of things happened along the way, and I'm not sure exactly what it was, but about a year into my sobriety, my success journey and my fitness journey did a complete 180, and I was really blindsided by this, and I didn't expect it, but I developed severe depression and anxiety, and I was put on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication and started taking them, hoping that I would get better. And during the time that I was on antidepressants, I gained 22 pounds in 7 months, and I was the heaviest that I had ever been. So talk about from, going to depressed to even more depressed. It really didn't help me. I was extremely numb, and I actually developed binge eating disorder. And I was hiding food, and I was waking up in the middle of the night eating, and I was really confused with what was going on, and I was worried that this was going to be my story for the rest of my life, and I was going to be obese. But for some reason, I kept coaching, and I kept being honest about what I was going through and inviting other people on my journey. And looking back on it, I think that might have been what kept me going forward, is that accountability and that community to always fall back onto and check into. And people believed in me, and more importantly, I always knew I was going to have a comeback. I just didn't know when it was going to be, but I was willing to try forever. So throughout the entire time, I worked out basically every day. About 5 to 6 days a week I would work out, sometimes twice a day. And I was eating away my results. I couldn't stop eating, and I had a severe addiction to food. But I kept doing my thing as a health coach and trying to make money and trying to help people. And I started doing a program called T25 by Shaun T. You might have heard of him. He's on Insanity. Well, anyway, I started doing T25 because Beachbody told us there is a new program coming out called Insanity Max 30. So I started testing it out to kind of promote it for my business. And I didn't lose any weight during T25, but I decided to continue promoting Insanity Max 30, and I moved on to Insanity, the hour-ish long program, and I had barely any room in my new bedroom to do it, but I did it anyway, and I made it work. And I lost a little bit of weight with Insanity. I never weighed myself, so I couldn't tell you, but I had a slight progress picture that I was pretty convinced that this might be my thing. So when Insanity Max 30 came out, it was all about maxing out and pushing to your absolute hardest. And it was kind of like when I first was introduced to Shakeology, I knew this program was going to be my comeback program before I even tried it out. And so I started doing it, and I started getting a lot better at it. And I cut out grains and alcohol, and I think that's what helped me break through my plateau. And I wouldn't have known how to do that, or I wouldn't have had that idea if it wasn't for my coach. Leading her lifestyle as paleo and always experimenting with different kinds of foods and diets, but finally I decided to jump on and see if it would work for me and help me get unstuck, because that was my big thing, was being stuck. And so it worked, and I stayed in the accountability group, and I kept checking in, and within the first 22 days I couldn't even recognize myself anymore. And it was the first progress photo that I probably had in about a year. And I had been working out every day and eating clean, and so I was hooked. And then before you knew it, I had finished the program, and I had amazing results, and I had lost 15 inches all over. And I felt like myself again. Ever since that, I've realized that what Beachbody has given me is so much more beyond the program and Shakeology, but it's the relationships and the fact that I have a coach who I can always check in with and who always leads by example and who's always paving the way, made me realize that I was meant to be a part of this. And so I've started helping other people stop identifying with being overweight and depression, and really find a way to help them cut corners and not experience as many trials and errors as I did. And it's been the most rewarding thing to see. I never thought that I'd be sitting here talking about my before picture and my after picture with Insanity Max 30. But I'm so glad that it happened, because now I know that no matter what happens, I can always come back. And I just want to be able to show other people that you can too.